Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk and we are in December 2025. You're doing our coffee and card and we are on week 2 and we're using the Friendly Foliage bundle from Stampin' Up, and it's in the new packaging. So I've got both the dies and the stamps in the same packaging. And one thing I was thinking, I'm going to show you what I've done particularly on the stamps, is that I've taken a piece of copy paper and I've just stamped, can't remember which way I did it now, anyway, I've stamped the stamps on to a piece of the copy paper, and then I've put my stamps on. They will be upside down, unfortunately, compared to the stamps, but I've put them where they should go, roughly, so that I know at a quick glance if all my stamps are back after a class. Because there's nothing worse than opening it 3 weeks later and find that you're a stamp missing and you've no idea where it went. So I'm just getting that out because we do need it. So yeah, so I've just stamped it on a piece of copy paper and glued it on there, and then arranged my stamps on it so that I can just quickly A, know what I'm looking for, and B, I know I've got them all. Okay, because unfortunately, while these I think are the correct size, I mean, you could rearrange them so they were on there, but the acetate is smaller than the picture on the front. So also I've seen people actually stamping directly onto here, but it was a bit glossy, so I was a bit not sure I should do that, so I am going to do it this way. And the other thing I thought, what you could do is take a picture of it and invert it, and then it would be, but I think that might be a bit silly, and then print it out. But you know, maybe after Christmas, when I've actually got time to do that kind of thing, we'll look at it again. Right, okay, so I do, yeah, and I mean, it's very different from our old storage, and it is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I love the fact that it takes up so much less room. So, right, let's pop them away. So we're on card 2, so that's this one. So this time we're still using this lovely stamp and die combination, which I absolutely adore, but this time we're using both of the dies. So we're using the outline and the inside, so you can actually see through the front element, which I absolutely, you know, this is why I bought this stamp set, because it's so flexible. 1 stamp and 2 dies. Right, and as ever, the measurements are down below. I'll try and remember to give you them as I'm going through. And I've forgotten the name of that, and it is Time Worn Brick, I think. It'll be in the materials down below anyway, but that's an embossing folder. But in the kits I've already embossed it for you. Right, so let's get started. Pop these to one side, and we have in your kit, there is, so I've already done my die cutting. We have, there we are, so little tiny weeny perennial postage die for your sentiment, and thick basic white 21 by 14.85 scored at 10.5 for your card base, and a lovely envelope. And we've got this piece, so this is Pool Party and it's 7 by 11.4, and then this is Lost Lagoon and it is 11 by 3. Okay, so, and then I've got a piece for your stamping, so we'll do that first. Get all the stamping done first. Now, I've used Lost Lagoon. Quite a few colours will go with Lost Lagoon, so you could use, if you don't have Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, you could use Pool Party, although how Pool Party would look on that, but you could emboss that with something else, just to add a bit of interest if you wanted. I'm trying to think what else would go with it. Probably any of the greens, to be honest. Have a play. If you don't have Lost Lagoon, have a play. You could even contrast it and go with something like Highland Heather. I think that would look nice as well. So, right, let's get going. My dies have stuck to the magnet on my stamping press. So I've given you this piece. Now this piece is 10.5 by 9.9, so I can get 6 out of a piece of A5, A4 rather, basic card. So it's, you do 3 at 9.9 long ways, and then you cut it in half at 10.5. So, and I've done that so that if you pop it here, if you stamp on this side, you then have enough of your paper left to do your 2 cut out leaves. Okay, so but I am going to drop that down a wee bit. I've just put it the other way around when I was positioning it. There we go. So that fits in nicely just there. Right. So, obviously, if you haven't got a stamp apparatus, you will need a slightly bigger block. It won't fit on the D block. You'll have to put it on the one above because it's quite a large stamp. And we need some ink. So I'm just going to stamp that up. There we go. Okay, and one trick I do use actually is I use my cleaning cloth. I've forgotten to wet it this morning. If you just rub it, or you can use, people use hockey pucks and stuff like that, and they also seem to work very well. And there you are. So just wipe that off. Okay, and then I don't recommend you use baby wipes to clean your stamps because they're now more biodegradable, they lint, and so you end up with little threads on your stamps which affects your stamping. So that's why I use a multi-purpose cloth, or stamping up Cellar chamois as well, that you can use to clean up your stamps. So right, now with this, as I say, I've die cut it for you. There is a right side and a wrong side, so you want it sort of, I want to say curving down. I'm going to put it on here. Now, when you're centering up a stamp on a small piece like this, it's a good idea to put it on when you're working on white card, put it on a darker background so that you can see the edges through your block easier. And I am just going to look through my ring light. There we go. And then you can centre it up because you can see the edges of the card. Okay, and then I'm going to be more random this time with my stamping because I found once I'd actually assembled the card you couldn't really see the leaves, so I'm doing more this time. So, well, that's the plan. Right, so just come in, and I always find well done, Linda, turn your stamp and your paper, and then you'll get different directions. So I'm just going to go up there with that one, and maybe come down here with this one. I mean, a lot of this is going to be covered up, so I'm going to come in here and a bit further in here to fill that gap. So, coming in from the other side, and then maybe go down here. Just have a play. Just working your way down the card, filling your gaps. And as I say, if you haven't got Lost Lagoon and you want to use, you can use a different colour, or Versamark works really well. It's a more subtle effect, but it will give you that tone on tone effect if you use the Versamark. So don't need to worry about gaps on this side because that's going to be covered, so I'm quite happy with that. Let's just wipe this one off as well. So that's all our stamping today. So now to die cut this one out. So I recommend Craft Perfect die tape, which you can buy off Amazon. I don't have an affiliate link, unfortunately. I'm not that famous. So, and it's really good for positioning your dies. And these days, I position my dies before I go to my die cutting machine and tape it in place. So what you're going to do here, you want to line up your leaves and then check that one's into place really quickly. So I'm going to pop some dye tape there, try not to move it, and then some dye tape on the side here so that it's quite firmly in place. And then I'm going to take the inside. You can tell very quickly whether or not you've got it the right way up. Just taking some more of the dye tape. The reason I like this dye tape is because it's not as sticky as washi, but it's sticky enough to hold your dyes, so it doesn't rip your paper when you're taking it off. Because I know sometimes with like magic tape, you've got to watch yourself with Stampin' Up cards. Sometimes it does just take the surface off, particularly if you've sent it through a die cutting machine. Right, so I am happy with that. I'm just lining it up with the leaves. Yep. So then pop that in place, and then I will take that over to my die machine. But with the beauty, and there you can see you've got this strip here for your leaves. But we are on TV, so here we are. Some I've cut out earlier. Okay, and you can see through. I just love the way, the flexibility of this. You can do it with the holes in or without, and I've done one next week where I've only done the holes and I've not done the outline, so quite a flexible, and it is an online exclusive. You won't find it in the catalogue. Right, so here we are. So we need to pop, so this one goes on here on this side, and I think I put it, it's roughly a centimetre in, roughly, but vertically central. So I'll glue that on. So there's my glue. I've got my little glue pot here. So, there we go. There we are. And then I'm going to add my panel on dimensional. So I'm going to stick this on first. Pop that to one side. So, and what I did with these, so again, I've already die cut these out. You'll need to die cut them out. And I sort of stuck them in place before I glued it on. So it's roughly there. So I'm going to put some glue on here and here. There's my little pin glue. Where am I putting it? Just, ooh, on the back. Oops. That's huge. And then on this one here. Just spreading that because I've got a massive blob of glue there, which is not the idea of a pin glue lady. So, and then I've popped this one sort of coming out of the corner. So roughly there. Wipe my hands with the glue. And then the other one just coming out, following those leaves there. So again, it needs to be the front side up. Just popping it on. There we go. And then I'm adding some more glue on the whole thing. Just sort of spotting, making sure you get the ends. And I'm just popping them where the stems are crossing. And then just down the tiny dots on your stalk. I've probably got my silicone mat out to do this. It's literally next to me. Done now. Okay, I'll get my tweezers to turn it over. And then I'm sticking that on my time-worn brick. And I still can't decide. I think it's that way. Where if you do decide to get the embossing folder, it's the side with the logo on is the front. Okay, So I'm just going to add that on there. There we go. Just glue that down. Did I miss gluing that end there? Nope, I just haven't stuck. There we are. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to add it to the card. So I've got a nearly finished one. Yep, that'll go there. Where's my scissors? So if we do that, and we do that, and take off the whole of this end. Oh, it's taken the two with it as well. Not pressing those down too hard because I can use them somewhere else. Let's use those in the middle. Let's not want that. There we go. And then I'll do the same on the other side. So this time I'm going to separate off those dimensionals so they don't all come with me. So I'm just going to go separate you out as well to there. So I remember quite a few years ago now, somebody in one of my classes just pulled the whole of the outside off and screwed it up and threw it away, and I nearly had a fit. Because these bits are so useful. Well, you can tell it's bothered me because I'm still talking about it now. There we go. Okay, see, look. How cool is that? I'll just fill in that gap there with one of these. And take them off. Then I'm going to stick it on the front of the card. When I can find the front of my card. So again, similar distance from the other side. Oh, that's interesting. So I've changed the design slightly. Because your Lost Lagoons are slightly different size. There we go. That's fine. How bizarre. Hey ho. It's just a design opportunity, that's all it is. Okay. And then I'm just going to put wishing you all the best at the bottom here. And there we go. And there we are finished. So very slightly different design there. Not sure what I was thinking there. So, do you know, I like them both. I do like them both, so. Prefer the stamping on that one. But I think I might prefer the longer. Who knows? Have a play. So that's me for this week. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.